I think we're in one of the most pivotal time points in history. And I don't know, it's really interesting, like, to me, when I analyze, like, where we are in history, like, where we are in our timeline, where we are in our human timeline. And I just think about the idea that, like, socially, like, when I think about, like, the social space, like, it's been in the same state for a very long time. Like, I can't give the exact timeline, but there have been shifts in that state previously. Like, there have been shifts that got to this state. I do think that, like, eventually it was inevitable that there was going to be another shift, and I just think that the shift is going to be, like, world changing. And that's why I'm posting a lot of videos trying to explain this to people. I think we've had other periods where, like, socially things have shifted, but it was impactful, don't get me wrong. Like, now we have entire nations where, like, we have more nations than we had previously. We have civilizations rather than people living in teepees or caves even farther back. So now we have, like, this entire civilization, right? A very complex system, and we've made more certainty of the world and things like that, right? And even with all of these advancements and improvements in the world, we can still say that socially there's still a lot of conflict, there's still a lot of violence and chaos, even though we've brought order to so many things in our world, the world that we exist in. So that's just a quick overview of, like, if anybody looks at the world, you could tell, like, if you were paying attention to the bigger schemes that are going on, then you can see, like, it almost seems like our advancements in technology, the things that make us smarter and more innovative and more effective, the things that do all these things also make us more primitive. When I look at things like drones that can blow people up and the advanced missiles that we have and our willingness to blow up each other, it just makes me think that societally we have regressed in a way. Like, I know we've always had wars and there were probably more conflicts, but the way we are doing it now is brutal, it is faster and more effective, and just the amount of people who can be killed in a single instance it's mind-blowing, honestly. That's just, like, kind of the truth to it. So it just seems like we're back to, like, it's easy to kill people, so let's just kill people, kind of. And there's a bunch of other examples that I could bring up to show how, like, societally we have almost regressed. I mean, just scores on IQ tests have gone down, and our physical strength has gone down, which means, like, there is this, like, paradox here where, like, we have more technology so we can do more, but at the same time we can act more primitively. We aren't as strong, so we shouldn't be able to hurt people as much, but weak people are more likely to try to hurt people. There's just all these paradoxes that go along with this, where it seems like, in the view of society and where things are and, like, how much can be done, it looks like we're doing much better, but, like, at the same time, all those improvements lead us to be able to worsen ourselves, kind of. So that was how I had to explain this, basically, to kind of make the point that, like, now we are going to this time period where we are going to have the most technologies that we have ever had, as far as we can tell, historically. And even if there was a civilization that was as advanced technologically as we are becoming, there's no sign of them, which is not good, I would say. It means that the technology didn't allow them to make it, right? And, there probably was another shift like this when people did learn to, like, use language and write down their experience in some way, even if it was, like, hieroglyphics in the cave. There was probably this shift in, like, narrative control, ideological capture, and things like that. Even, like, way back historically, like, somebody started the narrative. We weren't just gazelles, well, humans, but I'm using gazelles, like, who just passively exist doing the same things over and over. We started documenting what worked and what didn't work. So there have been these shifts before, but, like, now we are getting to this shift where I think it may restart that cycle, which is why we are looking so primitive. Like, we are looking like a less evolved species than humans actually are, or have the potential to be, because we are going to this the social structure that basically is going to require a lot more capture of resource, which means that we need to get more into our instincts. And there is going to be an abundance of resource. However, there are going to still be human cognitive processes that say, there may be scarcity. So we should accumulate as much of the resource as we can, even if that means depriving others of that resource. And I think that's where we're really going to be going in this future. And beyond the resource, I think that the resource, what we see as resource right now, could shift, because there's an entire narrative that can be perpetuated into the future, especially with the use of AI. If society decides to adopt one major AI as its own AI. And I do think that is a very likely outcome of how AI will be used. Just as a student in a college, I can see that they are concerned that some of the ideas that are accepted through the institutions, the college institutions, the things that are posted in academic journals, they are concerned that those types of things may not be included in what the AI expresses as truth, which humans will use to make decisions in the future. And at the same time, the more private entities are also trying to strengthen the narrative towards a certain direction that the AIs will use. And we can see this. I've posted videos previously about the way AI is being used in education, even for students as young as like elementary school and middle school. So, the narrative that AI takes on and what it accepts as truth, how it aligns with reality, is going to be strongly defined by which ideology it also aligns with. And I think this is like a shift in our timeline of like, depending on which narrative gets taken on, you're going to see a major change that is very controlled, possibly forced, and surveilled, like widely surveilled by technology that you will have to follow. I think you will see that be implemented. And it could go either way. I guess it depends on who gets there first, kind of. But like I said, our technology to enforce things has also advanced to allow enforcement to be done in a more primitive way and call it moral. That's one thing that I think I'll talk about in an upcoming video, is like the morality around this. I'll probably bring up Nietzsche in this, because I think that was a segment in this timeline where you can see that people already kind of knew this new idea of what is right and wrong were emerging, and that in some way it would be solidified and used to direct our development as a society. So yeah, that was just something I was thinking about and I wanted to share with you guys. It's just, I've been really analyzing the zeitgeist, and we're probably in the most fun time, the most exciting time, like to actually like analyze what's going on, because I think it is a shift like no one's ever seen before. And I think it's going to be exciting. Like that's what I know. I mean, no matter what happens, like seeing the change, seeing how it happens and all that, I'm interested in seeing it. It's fun. We only live life once, and I think it's pretty cool. I think that it's pretty cool that we are living in a time where we get to experience this kind of stuff. So yeah, that was just something I was thinking about. But thanks for watching.